Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this very special webinar hosted by the Salem Ornithological Foundation as a part of Sálim Ali Birthday Celebrations and Bird Now. Today, we have the immense honor of hosting one of the legends of Indian ornithology, whose passion, dedication, and knowledge has inspired generations of birders and researchers and students across India. Please join me in welcoming Dr. V Santharam. Dr. Santharam started birding as a hobby in 1976 in Chennai as a student, and he has been associated with Madras Naturalist Society since its inception in 1978. He completed his master's in ecology and environmental science from the Pondicherry University and a PhD on the ecology of woodpeckers in Pichivarni Bird Sanctuary, Thrissur, Kerala. He followed his research with a survey of the white-bellied woodpecker or the great black woodpecker at 29 sites all along the Western Ghats. He also briefly worked with BNH's bird migration project at Sriharikota and with SECON for bird surveys in non-protected areas of Kerala. Santharam sir worked in Rishi Valley School, Andhra Pradesh for 27 years since 1998, and he is the director of the Institute of Bird Studies and Natural History, Rishi Valley, which offers a correspondence home course in ornithology. He is also the trustee of the New Ornist Foundation, which publishes the bi-monthly journal Indian Birds. He has participated in several bird surveys in all the southern states, conducted birding sessions and nature camps for students, presented talks, wrote articles and papers on birds, and being part of the Tamil Birders Network. Well, the list goes on and on. Dr. Santharam sir's work has focused both on common and critical species and conservation issues that matter most on the ground. Tonight, as we celebrate his incredible milestone of 5 decades in birding, we have the rare opportunity to hear not just the scientific insights, but also the untold stories and experiences of a life lived entirely in pursuit of birds. Let's please welcome our distinguished ornithologist, mentor, and conservationist, Dr. V Santharam. Sir, the space is yours. You can please start. Uh, Sir, I think you're not audible. Is every Yeah. Can you please check?
Can you hear now?
Yes, sir. Please, you can start. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's been a great honor to be part of this celebrations, and I'm particularly thankful to Ganeshwar and the Salem Ornithological Foundation for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you and share some of my experiences and some of the insights that I have learned with all of you. And there are quite a few pictures that I'll be showing, and I hope you'll be able to catch up with all those things. Yeah, start with the other slide, the one, the racketeer drongo, please. Yeah. So my interest in birds started long back. In fact, when I was just 5 years old in Cochin, where I was born, my mother pointed out to this bird and gave the Malayalam name Kakathambarati. and this was a racket-tailed drongo, as I came to know about it much later. And this is a bird which we found in our own garden, and I'm very happy to say that now I'm back in Cochin. The bird is still around in spite of the increased developments and urbanization, noise, pollution. The bird somehow still manages to be active. I hear it every day. It comes to my backyard, and it also mimics a lot of other birds and keeps me guessing what bird is calling now. That kind of thing. Yeah. So can you go back to the slide on newsletter for birdwatchers? Yeah. So I grew up, although I was born in Cochin, I grew up in Chennai. From 1969, I have been a resident of Chennai till I moved to Rishi Valley. And when I was in Chennai, I had the opportunity to interact with one of our close relatives and family friends, Mr. G.K. Bhatt. He was interested in birds, he was interested in photography, he was interested in art, architecture, and so many other things. So whenever we used to interact with him as a kid of 9 years old or 8 years old, he would tell us a lot of stories about birds. He'll talk to us about interesting things they do and things like that. And when I was about 13 or so, he gave me a bunch of newsletter for bird watchers, a small journal that was being published by Mr. Zafar Fateh. And I went through those and I found those articles fascinating, and that really got me hooked on to birds. And he used to take us bird watching. We had gone to Vedantangal, we would go to other places. We in fact came back to Cochin once in 1976, and the same place where I'm now staying, we did bird watching. And some of the birds that I saw there at that time include white-throated ground thrush, racket-tailed drongo, bronze drongo, barbets, kingfishers, paradise flycatcher. Some of these birds are still around. Some of them occasionally visit. More about that later. The next one. Next, please. Yeah. Next. Yeah. So in Chennai, I was staying at Santhom, and just about a kilometer away from my house was this place called Adyar Estuary, the place where the river meets the ocean. And I used to go bird watching there in those days. And in those days, the Adyar Estuary was less crowded. In fact, the entire area behind the Chettinad Palace, what is now called the MRC Nagar, was an open ground. And next, please. And there's a lot of fisherman activity, but not many people would be seen there. So this is one of the earliest photographs I had taken, probably in 1979. This is the Adyar Estuary with the low tide. You can see the mud flats, and this was taken with this film camera. Next one. And these are the tenements that were there, the fishermen tenements on the opposite side, very close to the seashore. And I'm sitting in a place which is an open ground, and that is now the MRC Nagar. And it used to be a great vantage point to look out for waders and shorebirds. And I did my initial bird watching from 1978 till I left Chennai in 1997. Used to go there very frequently. Members of Madras Naturalist Society also joined me, and we used to watch birds from here. Next one, please. Yeah. So you can see there's a dredger at the back, and it was brought to clear the the debris that was gathering, the sand that was gathering at the mouth of the river, so that the water can flow out. And once the water was let out into the sea, the tides took over, and a lot of bird life could be seen. So here you see black-winged stills, a lot of other smaller waders. In fact, we did fantastic counts of water birds in this place, including avocets, golden, what's called the Pacific golden plover, the black-winged stills. I think one of the largest counts of Pacific golden plover and black-winged stills in those days was from Adyar Estuary, something like 3,000 plus birds. And next one. So this is the open ground where MRC Nagar now stands. And apart from these occasional cricket players and other enthusiasts, the whole place was open and left for me. And I used to go there mornings and evenings, just walk from my house and spend a lot of time looking at birds. On this ground, I have seen the nests of yellow wattle lapwing, the red wattle lapwing, the ashy crowned finchlark or sparrowlark, the Jordan's bushlark, the thickney. All these nests were found there, and I used to make it a point to observe these nests. So something like 20-30 nests I have followed, where the birds come and feed the young ones, when they come to incubate, who incubates, all these kind of details. As a college student, I used to come and spend a lot of time and in this spare time, and we used to take notes of all the happenings. Apart from that, we also started building a checklist of this place, and if you look at the list, we have something like 200 species listed in the Adyar Estuary area in those days, including the Theosophical Society. And a lot of rarities used to turn up in this place. We had a desert wheatear which came. Can you show the next slide, please? Yeah, we had the avocets, gulls of various species, terns of various species. But apart from that, we had the short-eared owl, which turned up once or twice. We had the flamingos, the lesser flamingo and the greater flamingo. We had the black-tailed godwits, and once a crab plover and single bird, and all kinds of waders, shorebirds, including great knot and the red knot. We have seen them, curlew sandpipers, Terex sandpipers, you name it. We have all of them recorded in this place. Next one, please. Yeah, you can see a flock of avocet taking off. Sorry for the poor quality. This is actually taken from a print, so you'll have to bear with the quality. Yeah. Next one, please. Yeah. Next. Yeah, we also would note there are a lot of damage to the place. People would come and hunt the birds there, and they will also pollute the place by dumping waste there. And this is now part of the Adyar Punga. You may not see anything of this kind right now because they've all been converted into mangrove forests, and you can't even see the sea from the road. Yeah. Next. So somewhere in 1978, Mr. Anthony Gaston and a few others wrote in the Hindu, saying that the Adyar mouth, the Adyar Creek, has to be protected. And I also wrote a small letter to the Hindu, and fortunately they were able to get some correspondent to go there and take photographs, and they gave a lot of publicity to this letter. In fact, this letter was very important because after this letter was published, two things happened. One, I got in touch with the Madras Naturalist Society, which was just being started at that time. And second, it ensured my future in Rishi Valley. So more about it later. So this is a photograph taken at the first anniversary of the Madras Naturalist Society. So you can see some of the veterans. The person in the dhoti who's sitting and looking is Mr. G.K. Butt, the person who was the first president of the Madras Naturalist Society. And he's the person who initiated me into bird watching. And some of the other older members of the Madras Naturalist Society, starting from the left, Mr. V.J. Rajan, Mr. B.V. Devaraj, then we have R.K.G. Menon, also known as Cutlet, G.K. Butt, Vardu. The person who is standing, the gigantic figure, is K.V. Prabhakar, brother of K.V. Sudhakar. The person who is sitting behind, next to him, in front of him, is Mr. P.M. Rangarajan, with whom I started Black Buck in 1985, the Journal of Madras Naturalist Society. The person next to him is Ramesh, who was a student at that time, and Raghuraman is the person on the extreme right. He was the secretary of Madras Naturalist Society for a long time, after Mr. Rajan. Next one, please. Yeah. And you can see one new person who's joined in shots, that is Mr. R.V. Mohan Rao, who was also the vice president of the MNS. Yeah. MNS gave a lot of opportunities to interact with people interested in birds. We used to have monthly meetings at the Guindy National Park. We used to have a speaker who comes and speaks to us. We used to exchange notes. And in the absence of social media, this was the only opportunity for us to interact. Of course, we then later started the monthly bulletin, which would convey the happenings and news and announcements and all that. And we used to go out regularly on short trips nearby areas. So this was a photograph taken at Anchetti in Melgaris. This was in the 1984. And you can see all of us, we had taken a standard 20 van, and we were thinking we could go to Hoganekkal through a shortcut, a forest route, and we took this vehicle with us. Yeah, next one, please. Going with the groups, M&S groups, was fun. There are a lot of things happening, and you can see Mr. Rajan has innovated the tripod. Instead of the tripod, he's got a shoulder pod ready now, and he's viewing something, and the other people are looking at us. Yeah, next one. And when once or twice the van got stuck, we had local people coming and lifting the vehicle off from the potholes and putting it back on the road. So this is one of the interesting things that happened. Finally, we did manage to reach Hoganekkal, a whole day long drive, and the vehicle was in good shape, fortunately, after we reached. We also had a lot of adventures in other places. So one of the adventures that I can recollect is that when we went to Amirthi near Velur, and what happened was the first batch of people left for Amirthi forest, and they reached there, and then they sent the vehicle back to pick 5-6 of us. And in between there was a big rain, a big storm, and the entire place was flooded. The river in front of Amirthi was completely filled up, and we couldn't go across. The road was not clear, and the guide who came with us didn't know the route. And then we got stuck in a place. We got off to realize later in the morning that we were at the edge of an open well. Fortunately for us, some of the villagers who stayed nearby, they came, rescued us. They said you could stay in our one of their cottages, and we stayed in their hut for the whole night. And the next morning, we lifted the vehicle out from the well. Almost it fell into the well. We had a miraculous escape. And then finally in the morning, we reached Amirthi. So we have had this kind of fun adventures. I don't know whether we now have this kind of opportunities these days. We go well planned out, and we go and stay in good forest bungalows and things like that. So all the things are planned. We don't have any of these kind of unexpected events. Next one, please. So this is, I think, the 35th anniversary of the Madras Naturalist Society. We had a get-together. We had some kind of workshop and a lot of interactions. The society continues to be active under the leadership of K.V. Sudhakar, who is now the president, and Vijay Kumar, who is the honorary secretary. Next one, please. This is the 45th anniversary of the MNS. The 50th anniversary is due in another couple of years, and we are looking forward to the meeting. Yeah. So in those days, bird watching was not very popular, and so when one of the members of the Naturalist Society, who happened to be also a good writer, Mr. Ramanan, came to know that I had started bird watching early in life, he did a story of me on the Hindu. This was way back in 1981. And yeah. Next. This is our group when we went to Valley of Flowers and Chopta. We spent 15 days in a vehicle. So we used to go not only southern India, but sometimes visit far off places. We went to Kedarnath Wildlife Sanctuary. We did some hiking when we went to Valley of Flowers. So this is part of the group. Next one, please. Yeah. So we were looking out for birds, and one of the persons I met in the Madras Naturalist Society was Mr. Koneri Rao, and he was a very senior bird watcher. He had a great sense of humor. He had good knowledge of birds, having spent a lot of his younger days in the forest, and he could identify birds by call. So whenever he used to go, I used to tag along with him, and he would point out various bird calls, and that's how I started picking up bird calls. At Adair History, I had the fortune of interacting with Bill Harvey, who was with the British Council. He was a very keen birder, and I think some of you may know him. And he helped me identify most of the terns and most of the migratory birds. So this was a sighting of a frigate bird, and this happened in September of 1978. So when Mr. Koneri Rao wrote to me about this bird, I looked out for it and I found it the next day flying over my house in Santharam. So I shot off a letter to Dr. Sálim Ali saying that we saw this bird, but we don't know which species it is. And this was his response. Next one, please. Yeah. So what a pleasant response, for a person like Dr. Sálim Ali to reply to a 18-year-old kid when I wrote that we saw this frigate bird. He responded very warmly, saying that I'm glad that you independently recognize this bird as something unusual enough to make a note of. So very encouraging. And I have had several further correspondences with him, and also met him 3 times in Chennai when he came on his way to Point Calimere and other places. So I used to go out with him. We had opportunity to take him out to Adair History, where we pointed out the need to protect the place because we have seen 200 birds. And we told him that the forest department was raising objections that it was very close to the airport, and according to the rules, we could not have a bird sanctuary near the airport. So his response was, "Do you think the birds can read the government notifications, and do they care about airports? They anyway keep coming. So what is the problem in declaring this place as a bird sanctuary?" So we had interaction with him about building a career in ornithology, and he was very discouraging in the sense that he says being a professional ornithologist in India is not very paying. You have to look for opportunities which are very rare, and so it'll be good to become a serious amateur than a professional. So that was his response. And I think it still holds true because very few opportunities are there. A lot of people are very keen on doing research on birds and things like that, but very few organizations and infrastructure to support them. And getting funding and getting permission to visit some of these places has become very, very difficult, and as it was in those days. In fact, much more difficult now than earlier. Yeah, next please. So this is Dr. Sálim Ali on one of his visits to Chennai. He talked to the members of the Madras Naturalist Society, and this is a photograph I was able to take of him during the meeting. Next one, please. With some of the Naturalist Society members. And this is me with Dr. Sálim Ali. Next, please. One of the birds that I had, 2 birds that species that I had seen, which was a little bit uncommon in those days. One was the ashy minuet, and the other one was the eyebrow thrush. So we had seen both these birds in Guindy National Park, and I had written about it in our journal Black Buck. And it attracted the attention of Humayun Abdul Ali, who wrote saying that it's very difficult to confirm the species unless you have specimen. Of course, these days you don't have specimen. So all those kind of things he was saying. And then once you publish a record which is incorrect, it's very difficult to remove it from the records and things like that. So then he knew that I had taken a photograph, and so he asked for a photograph. So I sent the photograph, and he responded immediately. The next one, please. So Humayun Abdul Ali, for those of you who don't know, is a cousin of Dr. Sálim Ali, and he was a great ornithologist, and more than a field worker, he was a person who studied birds in the museum, and he was a taxonomist. So when I sent the photographs, he said that it looked quite like the ashy minuet, and so he gave the green signal that I could publish the record. Dr. Sálim Ali also insisted that I publish the record in the Journal of BNHS, and it was published later. Yeah. we also had the opportunities to interact with a lot of people from abroad, because a lot of people coming to Point Calumet station would drop in at Chennai, and the BNHS would ask us to host them, arrange for a meeting and things like that. So we had people from RSPB, British Trust of Ornithology, and also from American side. We had a lot of visitors coming. And this person is Mr. Ben King. And we are at the Palikarnai before it was developed. You can see there are no buildings in Palikarnai. You cannot see anything till the horizon. It's completely open. And Ben King was very keen on seeing this striated marsh warbler. So he asked us to take us there, and we spent the morning there looking for it. But unfortunately, we couldn't see it. But later on, it turned out in some of the other places in Chennai. Yeah, next one. So some of us who had accompanied him. The person on the extreme right is Dr. Raghupati Kannan, and Vasantarajan, the person next to Ben King to his right, Mr. Mohan Rao, myself. Ben King is a ornithologist from US. He passed away 2 years back. He had written the famous book Birds of South, Field Guide to Birds of Southeast Asia, which was to us the best book for waders and migratory birds. So we used to refer to this book because we did not have Grimet or any of the other books that we are all using now. So the handbook had a lot of information, but did not give specific clues to identify birds. So we had to rely on field guides published outside. So we used to use British birds, or we used to use we used to use books by Ben King. Yeah. So one of the birds that bad birds that we saw in those times was the Drongo cuckoo at Guindy Park. Saw it a couple of times. I've seen the Malayan bittern, which later people have seen. The black-crested bassa used to be common in Guindy. Used to see it regularly. I have published my records in Indian birds. Yeah. And the desert wheatear, there was one specimen which turned out at the Adayar Meadow, and we were following it. In those days, the emphasis was not to record more birds. The emphasis was to look what is around you. And being a time when we did not have private cars and transport was not good, and we did not have Google Maps to help us to locate places, most of our birding was done locally. And I would spend most of my birding, 99% of my birding was done at Adayar Estuary and then at the Theosophical Society, and maybe a little bit in Guindy National Park. So we did not venture very far. Of course, we would, when opportunity comes, goes to some of the places, but unlike now, we did not have access to many of the places. And we relied on public transport. So we used to take the buses to reach some of these places. But things have changed so much now. Yeah. So Rangarajan and myself, we founded the Black Book, the Journal of the Madras Naturalist Society in 1985. And I'm happy it's still coming at, may not be regular, but it's still coming up. Issues are being published. And we have tried to record local news in this as much as possible. So some of you may have seen it. It's also available online. So please have a look at this journal. Yeah. Can you reverse the image? So I also had connections with people from other states, mostly through correspondence. And one of the persons I connected with is Professor K.K. Neelakantan. He is the most famous ornithologist from Kerala. He was a retired professor of English, but his interest in birds and his passion for birds is very well known. He had written a book on birds of Kerala in Malayalam, which probably was the trigger for a lot of Keralites to join bird watching and follow bird watching. So this was, he convened a meeting of bird watchers at Tekadi in 1987, and 3 of us from Chennai attended this. And this is Professor Neelakantan at and I had interacted with Professor Neelakantan several other times. I corresponded with him and also met him in his house in Trivandrum, where he was my aunt's neighbor. And he's a very, very fine gentleman, promptly replying. I have some 70, 80 of his letters still with me. and every time he would inquire about what's going on in Chennai, and he was very keen on, and when I started my PhD work, he came forward to help me with some of the literature that he had. He had a small library. Yeah, next one, please. Yeah, so one of the things in those days was concern about the fate of pelican. Pelicans were considered to be declining in those days, unlike now, where you see them even in the cities. Uh, Pelicans were very rare, and the numbers were declining, and so people were thinking that perhaps they're going to get endangered soon. So Professor Neelakantan had written several articles and had connected with organizations like the Bombay Natural History Society to launch what he named Project Pelican. And for those of you who don't know, Professor Neelakantan had studied the pelicans in Andhra Pradesh, where there was a huge pelicanry and near Rajamundry, and within a few years, all the birds vanished from there. And so he was very concerned that there were few places where the birds would be nesting. So he joined with Ralph Schreiber. He came to Chennai, and then they went to Nelapattu, where the birds were nesting, and he studied them there, and then wrote extensively about need to conserve. So this article is a summary of the things that had happened at that time, and it was published in the Hindu. Yeah. Next one. So some of the other places that we went was also Western Ghats. So this is Karayar, Upper Karayar Dam in near Tirunelveli, Mundanturai Tiger Reserve. Next one. Yeah. In 1987, I think I didn't tell you what I was doing at this time, although I was active with BNet, the Madras Naturalist Society. I had actually pursued commerce for my degree, and I was very keen on taking a career in ecology and ornithology. So in 1987, I got the opportunity when the Sálim Ali School of Ecology, which was formed just after Dr. Sálim Ali's passing away in Pondicherry University, they said that people with any background can join provided they pass the entrance exam. And so I wrote the entrance exam and I got through. And this is a photograph taken of my batchmates. We were just 15 of us. We were taken to different places. So Kalakkad Mundanturai was a place where we spent about 20 days or 25 days in two sessions. And we were given small tasks of observing things and documenting them, and then making charts and things like that. So this is one of the presentations that is going on. And the person at the extreme left is Dr. Priya Davidar, who is also a student of Dr. Sálim Ali, and she was my guide for my PhD. Next one, please. So we used to go walking in the Mundanturai forest, and people warned us about big cats. So one morning I had gone to do my field work, and then I came back 2 hours later, and then just on my footprint, I saw this pug mark of a panther. Fortunately or unfortunately, I had never seen a tiger. I had not seen panthers in the 50 years. Maybe the only panther that I can claim I saw was a fleeting glimpse of an animal which crossed the road near Tirupati in Kalyani Dam 3 years back. Otherwise, I'm not very keen on seeing things which don't want to see me. I'm sure they have all seen me, but I'm not keen on seeing a tiger unless it happens naturally. I don't want to go on a safari, disturb the animals. A lot of people now think that seeing a tiger is the ultimate in wildlife, or taking a photograph, maybe a selfie, but I don't believe in that. So I just believe in the luck. If I see something, that's good. I don't pursue birds like in those days when people would go and see a particular bird. Yeah, I'll talk about it. So yeah, next one. This is Rauf Ali, a nephew of Dr. Sálim Ali, who was also professor in the Pondicherry University. And with him, we went to Kalakkad Mundanturai, and we also went to Andamans. Next one, please. Where we were there for 15 days. Of course, I don't have any photographs of the birds, but we also did a little bit of sightseeing. So this is the cellular jail in Port Blair. So we spent about 10 to 12 days. We went by ship and came back by ship, and we were mostly at Chidia Tapu, and we saw something like 80 species of birds and several of the endemics, about 15 or 20 endemic species were seen on this trip. Yeah, next one. Yeah, the view of the cellular jay. Next one. Yeah. In 1988, we actually in 1987 we started the Asian waterfowl count, and in 1988 when I was in Pondicherry, I got in touch with Christian Peruno, who was doing his PhD on water birds in Pondicherry area. So together we decided that we will go around and do a survey of water birds. So we covered something like 25 to 30 water bodies, starting from Gudur in the north to Perumal Eri and Viranam in the south. So we covered all this in the matter of 6-7 days, and counted something like 2.5 lakhs, nearly 2.5 lakhs of birds. And we published this paper in the Bombay Naturalist Society. And we used to be very active with the Asian water bird counts the years. And the Madras Naturalist Society also has been taking a lead in counting water birds there. Yeah. We also had an opportunity to do a bird survey of the Piti Island in Lakshadweep, thanks to Tara Gandhi, who had written the project, and Dr. D.N. Matthew, another student of Sálim Ali. Tara Gandhi also is a student of Dr. Sálim Ali. So we teamed up together and we went to Lakshadweep. We made about 4 visits, and this is Piti Island, which is a small sandbar right in the middle of nowhere. And to reach this place, you have to actually jump into the water and swim. And not knowing swimming, I found it very difficult to reach the place. So I landed on the island only once, and that was a time when we were able to take a small boat very close to the island. The specialty of this island is that it's a nesting place for, next one please, of the 2 species of terns, the greater noddy and the sooty terns. So you can see there is somebody standing there, and behind him a cloud of small birds. So those are the sooty terns and the noddy terns taking off on seeing us. Yeah, next one. So this is a sooty tern in flight. Next one. I'm sorry, I don't have photographs of the noddy tern. It's all lying in Rishi Valley. I had to go there and pick it up sometime later. Yeah, next one, please. So these are the eggs of the noddy tern and the sooty tern, just to give a comparison. So the people, the local fishermen would go there and harvest these eggs from time to time. And so we were asked to find some kind of a management plan so that the birds could be conserved. So we went there on 4 occasions. We listed birds that are found in this place and other islands. And we gave a report to the government. And some of the recommendations were, I believe, accepted. And birds are still nesting there on this island. So that's a great thing, because we thought the population would be decimated by repeated harvesting of eggs, but that has not happened so far. Yeah. Again, you can see some of the terns taking off. Yeah. Next one. Coastline of Lakshadweep. Mostly coconut trees, not much of vegetation. And most of the islands are very small. You can walk around them in about 20 minutes or so. Next one, please. This is a photograph of me taken by Suresh Elaman at Silent Valley National Park. And this was in December 1990. We had the first official bird survey of Kerala, and it started with Silent Valley. So we were there at Kuchapara, is a place above the proposed dam. And we spent 4 days listing all the birds there. So this was one of the first occasions where people came together and did a survey in a forested area. And then this became a culture in Kerala, because once this results of this survey was published, everyone wanted the survey to be done in their own forest area. So forest department came forward to support people to come and do surveys. And so a series of surveys, and I had been to, I think, about 6 or 7 other sites, including Pichi, Tekadi, and Chimani Wildlife Sanctuary. So Kerala was able to get a lot of people to come there, get trained under experts, and now they have a very strong network of bird watchers there, thanks to these kind of surveys. In Tamil Nadu, it has started. In Karnataka, it has started. Andhra, it is just starting. I wish these kind of activities could be there so that more people can learn bird watching in the field rather than online. Yeah, next one, please. So in 1991, I enrolled for my PhD after completing my master's in Pondicherry University, and I chose to work on woodpeckers. I chose to work on several species of woodpecker that occurred in the same forest area to see how they differentiated from each other and how they could coexist in the same place. So the place where I started doing the research was Peachy Wildlife Sanctuary near Trichur in Kerala, and there are some 10 species. There are 12 species found in Western Ghats, and 10 of them I recorded from Peachy at the time when we were doing the work, and 8 of them I studied in the same habitat. So I collected data on their behavior, feeding behavior, nesting behavior, habitat requirements, and things like that. And I found that many of these birds are able to coexist because the food was in abundance, and the densities of these woodpeckers was very low compared to temperate regions where the densities were very high. Next one, please. So this is the flameback. This is the streak-throated woodpecker. This some of these photos are by P.K. Uttaman, who is a great photographer, and he kindly lent me some of these photographs. Yeah, next one, please. This is it was called the Maratha woodpecker. Now it's called the yellow-fronted pied woodpecker. It's again a bird which is not very common. The rufous woodpecker is very peculiar because it has a habit of, next one, please, nesting not in tree holes but in the ant nest. How it coexists with that is something still of a mystery. Yeah, next one, please. This is the smallest of the woodpeckers, is called the piculet, is about sparrow-sized. Yeah, next one. And this is my favorite woodpecker, the hot-spotted woodpecker, very tiny. Yeah, next one. So I had published some of my writings, some papers in the BNHS journal, and my PhD thesis also was published. Yeah, next one. It's also available online. Yeah. So after the survey of the woodpeckers was done, in fact, it was funded by the New York Zoological Society, now called the WCS. They funded my survey research, and I turned my attention to this largest woodpecker, which is not very common, and I thought it may be endangered because of its large size, requirement for larger trees, dead trees to nest, and things like that. So I did a survey. Next one, please. Yeah, they're the young ones at nests. Again, Uttaman's photographs from Wayanad. Next one, please. So I did survey at 29 different sites, starting from Surat Banks in Gujarat to Kanyakumari, Kalakkad Mundantarai. So I visited the 29 different sites, tried to locate the birds. One of my findings was that it was not there in Maharashtra at all, completely gone. It was there in Goa, it was there in Surat Banks, but not in Maharashtra. Subsequently, people said they saw it, but I don't think there is any convincing report yet. This bird is doing okay, but I think it needs to have a lot more forested area with large trees to support itself. So I don't know what the status of the bird is currently, because so much of development is taking place in Western Ghats. So this may be very slowly moving into a place where it can become threatened or endangered. Somebody has to again go and look at these habitats and look at the birds. Yeah, next one. While at Peachy, I also engaged with the local people and we did surveys of the water birds. So this is the person whom I'm talking to. I'm in shots, and the person who's opposite to me is Andrew Robertson. Andrew Robertson is a Britisher, and he used to be very keen bird watcher and used to come to India frequently. He co-authored a book on a small field guide to birds of Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary. And one of his main interests in those days was that we should bring out a bird atlas of Kerala. So he spoke to the people in the Kerala Forest Research Institute. Namir was there at that time, a student in the Forest College, and we had a meeting where about 50 people from Kerala, different parts of Kerala, came together, and we discussed the modalities of doing this. But somehow there was no follow-up after that, and the project did not materialize. But I'm glad that in the recent times, people have taken it up and completed the first phase of the bird atlas in Kerala. But they should remember that the seeds were sown way back in 1992 when Andrew Robertson came and spoke to several people about having a bird atlas for the whole state. I'm happy that finally it was achieved thanks to the cooperation of bird watchers in Kerala. Yeah. So one of the interesting birds that sighting, which was very miraculous, was the frogmouth, then considered to be very endangered and found only in certain places. So this photograph was taken near Trivandrum in a sacred grove. But the first sighting of this bird for me was in Chimani Wildlife Sanctuary. We had gone there for the bird survey, and we were camping out in the open. And as we were going to the campsite, I noticed a particular place which seemed like a good habitat for the frogmouths. So TRK Yoganand, who was my junior in Pondicherry University, who studied bears, we used to call him Yogi. So Yogi was with me, and one morning on the final day, he said he was going with other people for a walk. I just wanted to relax for a while. So I said, please go ahead. But I said, look out for the frogmouth. And Yogi promptly went to the same patch where I had suspected the presence of the bird, saw the bird, and came back and told me, we saw a lot of birds. We also saw the frogmouth. I said, what? You saw the frogmouth? Come on, let's go and see the bird. So we went there, and after 5 minutes of search, we found the bird. So that's how I first saw the frogmouth. A very, very rare coincidence of expecting to see a bird and finding it there. Yeah. Next one, please. Yeah. I also had the opportunity to photograph the hornbills at nest. Kannan, my very close friend, who was also doing PhD at the same time when I was doing my research on woodpeckers, was working on top slip on the great pied hornbills, and he had located some nests, and he wanted some documentation. So he called me over, and I said, okay, I'll come and help you. So I went there. He was not able to come on that particular day. So he said, I'll send my tribal guide. You can go there and sit at the hide and then take photographs. So I expected to go and sit on a tree hide where I could take a photograph of the bird. It turned out that the hide was on the ground and right in the middle of the forest, and about 100 or 60 meters from the nest. So I went and sat there reluctantly. I was very wary because there were elephants moving around. A few days back, Kannan himself had seen a tiger not very far from the hide. So I just sat there praying that I see the hornbill and nothing else. So I spent 5 hours, got some shots of the hornbills coming to feed the young ones at the nest. And then, yeah, next one, please. Yeah, the bird came twice or thrice and I photographed it, but the lighting was very poor. And taking it from the ground, the angle was also not quite good. But these are the kind of pictures you were able to do in those days with the limited equipment that you had. So I finally came out and then asked the guide, can we go? He said, yes, fine. Asked, hope, thank God there were no elephants. He said, sirs, when you were inside the hide, there was a bear which came. I said, thank God you didn't tell me at that time. I would have run away without taking photos. Yeah, so we have had some interesting things like that. Yeah, next one. After I finished my PhD, I had completed the work on woodpeckers. I also worked with the Sálim Ali Center for Ornithology, SACON. And after that, I was at a loose end, not sure what to do. And that's when BNHS asked me whether I could do a survey of the wetlands in Chengalpet district. What is Chengalpet district then is now Kanchipuram and the Tiruvallur districts. So covered something like 70 to 80 wetlands in summer month, in month of June and May, and try to document the status of this. Mostly there were irrigation tanks, and also managed to see some birds. So the report was published in Buceros. Yeah, next one. Okay, this is at a Pan-Asian Ornithological Congress in 1996. Delegates from Sri Lanka, met a lot of people, including Grimet, Pamela Rasmussen, Inskips. They were all there, and I had the fortune of taking all these people out bird watching to Siruvani. Yeah, next. Yeah, this is the Indian courser, but just when I was not sure what I'm going to do next, I had a letter from the director of BNHS, Dr. J.C. Daniel, asking whether I can take up the research on Jordan's courser in Kadapa. They had just rediscovered it in 1985, and so somebody had to follow it up. Bharat Bhushan was the person who discovered it, and they wanted somebody to do it, and they were strongly persuading me to do it. But then that was also a time when I got an offer from the Rishi Valley School. The next slide, please. So they wanted me to come and teach and also manage the Institute of Bird Studies, which they had just started. So this is a photograph taken in 1991 when they declared the whole campus as a bird preserve. Some 400 acres of land they declared as a private bird preserve, and yellow-throated bulbul and a lot of other birds were seen there. So Mr. Rangaswamy, who is the person in dark shirt with his hands in the rear, he's the person who I had met in MNS after that letter was published in the Hindu about Adyar history, and he said that I should come to Rishi Valley and work with him. So in 1998, finally, I decided I'll go and join them. So I joined Rishi Valley in 1998 and continued there for 27 years. I taught in the school. I also headed the Institute of Bird Studies, which offers a correspondence course in ornithology. Next one, please. Yeah, Rishi Valley is a fantastic place. I don't have words to describe it. It's like my friend Kannan said, this is the paradise. So some 400 acres. You can see all the dark areas are forested areas, and the hills behind are barren. You see the Horsley Hills in the background. Next one, please. So this is the surrounding landscape, mostly rocky hills, very little vegetation, but Rishi Valley also is in a very dry area. Next one, please. Yeah, just some landscape shots of the valley so that you know what it is like. Yeah, next one. Yeah, this is the wooded campus. Next one. And we have a water body which fills up when there is good rain, which happens once in 10 years or 15 years. Next one, please. So this is the home study course, which we started in 97, and it's still running, and it has gone into several editions. It contains 25 lessons, and I am still managing it from Cochin, where I'm now staying. Yeah, next one, please. So apart from taking classes, I used to also take children out bird watching right from those days. Next one, please. And also visitors who came, parents, scientists. This is Nick Davis, who studied cuckoos and parasitic birds. On his visit, he was Suhail Kader's guide for his postdoctoral work. Yeah, next one. So this is my group of bird watchers in Rishi Valley. So for 27 years, we used to go regularly on Sunday mornings for bird watching, and also I had taken them on trips to places like Sikkim, Chakrata in Uttarakhand, Tekadi, also Point Calumet, Pulicat Lake. So I used to organize nature camps for these children. Next one, please. The yellow-throated bulbul, a rarity in Rishi Valley. Yes, next one. You can show the next photographs rapidly. Okay, came to drink water. I finally managed to get it in my bird path, taken from my window. It also attracted a lot of other birds like this orange-headed thrush. Next one. Bulbuls. Some 35 species used to come to my bird bath. So there's a one way of attracting birds to your backyard. You can see them from the comfort of your own home. Next one, please. Yeah. Having lived in Rishi Valley for 27 years, I could also make observations on how the place has changed, how the bird life is responded to various changes in the habitat changes and things like that, and also climatic conditions. So this is the painted spurfowl. Yeah, next one. Marshall's iora, or the white-tailed iora, a rare bird in South India. White-throated ground thrush, Ashiprinia. The eagle owl, short-toed snake eagle. Yeah, barbets. So the coppersmith was the only barbet that was seen there, but in 2009 I started seeing the white-cheeked barbet and now it's a very common bird there. It was not recorded in Andhra earlier. The jungle fowl, grey jungle fowl, also was not recorded in the campus, but since 2015, it's become very common. Now you can see 10 to 15 birds. Next, please. Indian roller used to be very common. Now hardly any pair comes there. They are becoming very rare. Next one. It used to nest, but the parakeets and mynas would come and usurp its nest. Next one, please. The fish owl, it comes there when there is good rain, otherwise it disappears. It was not there for about 11 years, it came back. The chestnut-headed beater is a passage migrant. Yeah, next please. So during COVID time, we had excellent rains and we had a lot of water, and so this brought in a lot of birds which I had never seen earlier. So this is our percolation tank. Next one, please. So the night herons came and started nesting. The darter came up. Glossy ibis turned up. But one of the most interesting birds that came was the knob-billed duck. It came and chose a wooden stump and started nesting. And this bird nested on a tree stump which was 20 feet high up. And I was waiting for the young ones to emerge. Next one. And this is the young ones. When they emerge, they had to, within a few minutes of their hatching, they had to jump down and join the parent and go to some secluded place for feeding. So I was there at the right moment and I was able to capture them as they jumped from the nest. There were 4 chicks at least. Yeah. This painted snipe started nesting. Otherwise, you never see this bird. Yeah. Next one. You can see them, the 2 chicks following the father. The red-necked falcon was a bird which I never seen, but it has become common in the outskirts of Chennai, and I was hoping that I would see it. Next one, please. And a pair of birds actually obliged. Next. So these are the 3 chicks that emerged from the nest, and you can see they were posing for me. They nested in our campus. The hornbills, yeah. Yeah. So this is a camp in Himachal Pradesh where I had taken my kids for the nature camp. Next one. Next, please. We are also going to Point Calumet to study bird ringing. I had actually done bird ringing in Sriharikota and Chilka Lake. This is Mr. Balachandra, who is with the mask explaining to the children who had come with us how they catch the birds and ring them and what kind of data they take. And next one. The people who are in the photograph, the 2 kids, one of them, the one in the shorter fellow, is Shankar Raman. You may not recognize him because he joined me when he was just in class 6 or 7, and we used to go regularly for bird watching. This is at Theosophical Society in Chennai. Next one, please. So I also used to go to other schools of Krishnamurti Foundation. This is at Sahyadri and involve people, both teachers and students, for bird watching. Next one. You can show the next few very quickly. This is Sahyadri School. An indoor session where you explain to them how to watch birds, how to take notes. Yeah. Children are doing something, taking field notes. Very important for them to actually note down things in the field. Yeah, next please. We also did some craft with available material. Next please. Next please. These are the imaginary birds that they decided to draw. Yeah, the next one. This is at a bird race. I used to come as a judge to bird race in Chennai. We used to have this regularly. Next, we also had bird races in Rishi Valley. This is at one of the AWC meeting in Haryana. Dr. Ramani and others are there. This is the bird fair at Dindigul, Gandhigram, 1996. Ashish Pitti, Theodore Bhaskaran, K. Sudhakar, they're all in the picture. Next one, please. AWC, we had meetings of the Indian IBAs and organized with BNHS, and we had recognized areas, but we wanted data on some of these important bird areas. So this is one of the meetings where we had this kind of interactions. in Mudumalai. Next one, please. So I decided we'll start this Tamil Birds as a Yahoo group so that we can get more people to network together. So we started this in 1996 and 2006 rather, and it was active till 2013, 2019. Then it shifted to Google because Yahoo closed their groups. Next one, please. So we started Tamil Birders Meet. Jagan was the person behind this. He got people together and we have been having regular meetings. We brought out a checklist of birds of Tamil Nadu, and we also started compiling local names of birds. We also decided that we will have other details of things like, next one please, a Pongal bird count which would come out, and this is the newsletter for ornithologists which Zafar Fateh Ali, myself and Ashish Pitti started in 2004, which is now called the Indian Birds. So I am part of the group which started it, and I'm also on the one of the trustees. Next one, please. This is one of the Tamil Birds meetings. I think some slides got mixed up. It's okay. Yeah, next one. Yeah, Pongal bird counts. Yeah, it's still going on strong. The Indian Birds renamed after 1 year of newsletter for ornithologists. Yeah, next one, please. So eBird, I've been contributing regularly to eBirds, and I'm happy that I have now 14 years of my data. Last 14 years of my data is already there, and I have some 36 years of data to be entered. So I hope to do it in the next few years. Next one, please. Yeah. Now I'm retired. I'm in Cochin, and now I don't watch birds. Birds watch me. So this is the bird which came to look at me. A bird which I had first heard in Trivandrum in 1981 with Professor Neelakantan, the brown hawk owl or the bubok. It was there in my backyard. Next one, please. So it was taken with low light, and so this is how I managed to get a shot. So I've been hearing this bird all over the place, but I have not taken efforts to go and see it. So I waited for it to come and see me. So now we are friends. So it drops in occasionally. I can hear its call from my bedroom or my kitchen sometimes. So yeah. The brown-breasted flycatcher was here 2 weeks back. It was there for 2 days and allowed me to photograph it very close. So birds are now visiting me. Yeah. Some of my close friends, Sudhakar has been a friend for last 48 years, and we've been together in all my activities, whether we went on a trip or we decided to launch the Tamil Birds. He was there as a big support. I have to thank him for all the support. I mean, I have a big list of people, but I don't want to name all of them. Just a couple of representatives. Next one, please. And this is Dr. Kannan, who is now professor of zoology in Arkansas University, who regularly visited Rishi Valley when I was there. And yeah, he's a very constant companion. Every day I kind of correspond with him. We exchange notes and news. Yeah, next one, please. So I would like to just summarize the whole thing. I think I have exceeded my time, but I hope you are patient enough to listen. Just a couple of minutes. So something that I wanted to share with you is that we have been making lists of birds, but I think we are not studying its behavior or natural history or ecology. So I think we need to spend more time on doing this. We need more long-term monitoring areas because we can find out what's happening to common birds if we have different habitats where we have stations where we can continuously monitor this. I managed to do something in Rishi Valley for 27 years, but I think we need to have more such places where we can continuously observe birds and find out what is going on in the populations of birds. And the other thing is, when we take children bird watching, most of the time we just give them the name of the bird and then maybe talk one or two interesting things about the bird, and then we move to the next bird. Rather than that, I have changed my focus in bird watching. I don't tell the name of the birds. I ask them to watch the birds and then give them the book of Sálim Ali's Book of Indian Birds, and they use the charts that are given there, and then based on that they try to identify the birds. So we also should make an effort to show them the interconnections and interdependence of the habitat and other species with birds, so that the understanding is more holistic. We need to inculcate this from the young age. Online platforms like eBird, very useful, very productive, and all that thing. But then they seem to be more interested in quantitative data, uh, observations on nesting behavior. All these things don't get highlighted in this. We need to make sure that we have a lot of bird watchers who keep coming, joining these groups, eBird platforms. They need to be told that bird watching is not just listening, but more than that, looking at what the birds are doing. This birds are not just there to be listed; they also have to be observed and understand the biology. So we should emphasize that. So rather than looking for new species and looking for new things, which I would term as sensational birding, we should be more sensitive to what our impacts on the birds are. So when we see a new bird turning up in some place, or some rare bird, all of us try to go there and look at the bird. This is something which had happened earlier in places like UK and US. It's now happening in India. People take flights and go and visit those places. I think we are disturbing the birds too much, playing back the songs and trying to attract birds so that we get a photograph. All this should be avoided. I think these are all some of the things that I thought I should mention in this talk. Yeah. So I think I'm kind of done. Next couple of slides. And, yeah. Sorry if I've taken longer time than was allotted to me.
No problem, sir. No problem, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't even begin to describe how good and incredible the talk was. You have taken us all through a down memory lane, right from when you started birding and to the modern times. So we are so happy and glad that you joined us today. So the talk was so good. That's why I did not want to interrupt in the middle, telling you that the time is about to end. So I just never wanted this talk to end. So it was that good. So I think we have another few minutes. Our participants can interact very briefly. So we don't want to miss this opportunity as well. So participants, you can, if there are any questions or feedback, let us please keep it short so that more people can interact with Dr. Santharam. Thank you. Yeah, you guys can unmute and ask. If you have any questions, you can also post in the messages. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, Nalla, very good, very informative talk it is. I have a doubt on behavior of birds actually. How do you describe these people?
Yes.
How to understand the behavior of birds on daily basis?
Okay, I think one of the things that yeah. Have you done with your question? Yeah. I can't hear you.
So now audible, right?
Yeah.
So how do you expect to learn the behavior of the birds through the life through daily basis? Like say through the channel of traveling, the migration, everything.
Yeah, I think we may not be able to do everything that we want to do, but we can still do a lot of things. Watching birds, looking at birds, putting a tick and then moving to the next bird is what most of us do when we go for bird watching. Even I do that. Okay, but when I go, I spend a lot of time looking at the birds. One thing is you should see what the bird is doing. What is it eating? Where is it perched? Whether it is associated with other birds. There is something called the flocking behavior of the birds. So you have mixed flocks. So birds come together to feed. So some birds will feed on the treetop, some will feed on the bark, some will feed on the ground, some feed fly catching. So you have birds having different behaviors. So what kind of behavior do they show? So these are the things that you can study easily. And if you sit in a place quietly, the birds will come to you, and then you can start looking at the behavior. So when we did the studies on the nesting, what we would do is we would see that we don't disturb the bird. We are not very close. We sit at a distance and then wait for the birds to come and feed. So we will watch whether the male comes and feeds the bird, the young ones, or whether the female, who incubates, how long. So we spend about an hour, and in that hour, what is the proportion of time the male spends, the proportion of time the female spends. So there are a lot of things. Even if you want to listen to the bird calls, you can record and listen to the various kinds of sounds they produce, and what is the context in which different sounds are produced. What is the courtship behavior? There are so many things that you can study, because the birds don't sit quietly. They do a lot of things. So all you have to do is make sure that you are there and you sit quietly. You have a lot of patience to observe them. You may sometimes spend 2 hours. When I was watching the hornbill, I sat there for 5 hours. When I was looking at the young ones of the painted snipe, greater painted snipe, I stood there for 1.5 hours at the same spot before I could spot the birds. And then I was following them, how far were they going, what were they doing, what was the male doing. So you need to have a lot of patience for this. It doesn't come very easily, but I think once you get hooked onto bird behavior, you'll see a totally different aspect of birding. Yeah, I hope I have answered the question.
Yes, sir. So, do you think this birding, slow process of birding helps in all photographers in daily life? Slow birding, I mean to say.
Yeah, slow birding is now become a fashion. It used to be the norm in those days. Now people want to take photographs, list maximum number of birds in the shortest period possible. So all this causes also a lot of disturbance to birds, because when you are moving too fast, birds don't behave normally. They run away from you. But when I go alone for bird watching, and that's how I learned most of the behavioral patterns. I used to go alone. I would stand still at a particular place. Then you see a lot of things which they normally don't reveal. You can see all the things. So please spend some time. Just look at birds. Forget eBird listing. Forget photography.
Yes,
just
sir.
watch birds. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, a lot.
Yeah, thank you. And we have got a couple of questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
One is from Mr. Bharanidharan. What would
Yeah.
you want to say to someone who would like to pursue a career in ornithology and wildlife sciences, sir? What advice and tips would you give?
I think I'll have to rephrase the words given by the advice given by Dr. Sálim Ali. See, I think we have a lot of people showing interest. There are a lot of universities offering courses. So you can also do online courses. You can also go abroad and do wildlife courses. But the problem is, what do you do after that? The very limited opportunities that are there are also, there are issues like getting permission to do the work that you want to do, getting funds to continue your work, and so many other things. So I don't know. Things have not improved in the last 40 years that I have been active as a semi-professional or a professional bird watcher. So I think that it's best that you retain your interest in birds and follow them, their activities on a daily basis or whenever you are free, rather than become a professional. And very frankly speaking, I find professional bird watching where you just count some things. After spending 2 years of watching woodpeckers, I still don't think I have understood anything relevant of them. I think we need to spend large periods of time, 5, 10, 15 years to understand what is actually going on. So I would suggest that just continue to watch birds. Don't think that you need to become a professional. You can contribute a lot to ornithology by just being an amateur.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And the other question is from Ms. Madhumati Ramkumar. How can my son pursue his studies in birds as he did his commerce in his schooling?
I also did the same thing. You can go to Pondicherry University and do a degree if that's what you want. But as I just mentioned, I think continuing to watch birds, whatever your profession is, will give you a lot more reward than becoming a professional. Professional bird watching or ornithology is slightly boring because you spend a lot of time quantifying things. You can't watch a rare bird which comes and peeps at you and say hi from a distance. You have to sit and look at your own bird. You just can't move from that. There are a lot of restrictions and things like that. And ultimately, after all these efforts, what you have collected, the data that you have collected may not reflect the actual behavior of the bird or the ecology of the bird. You need to know a lot more. Most of our PhD programs are designed only for 3 years, and in 3 years you just can't spend a lot of time. And now a lot of universities are insisting on doing a lot of coursework in addition to field work. So you need to find interns who will substitute you in the field, and they'll collect the data for you. But unless you are there, you won't know what is actually going on. So I think the information that you collect may not be, maybe it will get you a PhD, you may get a professional qualification, but you may not still know a lot about the birds. I would suggest that, pursue your interest outside the academic field, but be a professional in that way. I mean, follow all the, become a very serious bird watcher and things like that. Yeah, you will find it very interesting. Yeah.
Dr. Santharam, if I may, I was really inspired by what you said. I lived in Santharam just about, I was a kid, obviously, but around the time that you were living and working there. And I remember the Adair estuary very well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that. I thought that was quite a coincidence. I also was born, I lived in Cochin quite a long time. So
nice. Yeah. Hopefully we'll meet sometime.
Yes. I do know some folks that you know, so perhaps we will.
I haven't started bird watching in Cochin fully. In another 2 days, I'll be in Wayanad for the bird festival. Hopefully I'll meet some of my old friends there and maybe start bird watching again. Yeah.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll have a final question from the chat. Sir, with rampant urbanization happening, where do you see the future of birding going in India?
I think there is a lot of concern about rapid urbanization and loss of birds. Birds are very resilient. To be frank, I came to Cochin after several years expecting that I will not see many of the birds that I had seen in 1976, 50 years later. But what I'm now seeing, I have recorded about 80 to 90 species in the place where I'm staying. I'm right in the heart of Cochin's town. You have things like racket-tailed drongos, we have tree pies, we have occasionally we have the stalk-billed kingfisher coming up. Okay, so some birds which are not able to cope up with the changes have vanished, but others are able to continue there. I'm sure you will be able to look out for birds in urban areas. There are still small pockets where birds can be seen. Yes, ideally we would like to have large areas reserved for birds, but then given the kind of development that we are following, the kind of things that are happening, you are likely to see less birds, but then you enjoy whatever birds you can see. And most of the cities still have large number of birds. Only thing, you have to go to the right place at the right time. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
So, even though we are way past time, I think it was so endearing to listen to you, to all your experiences, and right from the old photographs was like totally. You are telling that it is not of great quality, but to us to see the old day photos is something so good. So thank you so much for taking us through your journey, sir. And I hope to hear from you in the subsequent talks, particularly about woodpeckers and very specialized talks from you. So I hope we can get an opportunity to listen more to your experiences, I guess. So on behalf of everyone, I thank you so much for accepting our invitation for this talk. So I guess tomorrow we are celebrating Dr. Sálim Ali's birthday, and it is befitting that we got Dr. Santharam sir's talk towards this occasion, who himself has interacted directly with none other than the Sálim Ali. So I guess with this, we'll wrap up the session. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for your patient listening and great questions. Thank you all. See you next time.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.